All right, we're back. That was really fucking weird. I don't know what the fuck happened there, but we're back. This is a part 2. Yippee!
Part 2.
Let's go. Hopefully nothing weird happens again. Okay, so YouTube stream. I'm guessing. Yeah. We're gonna do that again. I'll copy the link to YouTube. I'll also send my Twitch as well, because Twitch is gonna be a lot less. If you go to my Twitch page, it's just gonna play whatever's on.
Oh, nice.
I'll send both links.
Go.
All right. Okay, I don't know why it's not coming through. Okay, it's coming through on YouTube. That's good. Twitch seems to have an error. I don't know why. Okay, there we go. We're back on Twitch. Cool. Yeah. That was weird as shit. Suddenly, all my monitors went out, and everything got disconnected. Yeah, let's get this Discord back here the way it was. There we go. I'm going to resend the YouTube link to my server from my server.
This part 2 YouTube one I can share on.
Yeah. I'm gonna share it on all social media.
Copy.
I really hope that doesn't happen again. Holy shit. That was horrible. I have like an external USB drive connected to my laptop. It's not the most up-to-date thing. A lot of my monitors are old. And like I have a drawing tablet that's like 100 years old with an old an older it's much, I don't forget the name of the plugin, but it predates HDMI, so it's like some old shit. Yeah, I'm gonna.
Okay.
Yeah, here's the new link.
What, YouTube?
I was just texting Abstract because he was wondering. Yeah. Okay. So my stream crashed. Here's the new YouTube link. If you're watching on Twitch, I'll just whatever. I don't need to clarify that. All right. Gonna tweet that. Okay. Oh, come on. Where? Yeah, there we go. Yeah. There. Over here. There we go. Everything is resent. Let me go to let me go to my YouTube community posts as well. Hey, welcome back, Abstract. Yeah, so if you're curious about what happened, I have like a very old USB port connected to my like gaming laptop, and a lot of the monitors I have plugged into my laptop are older than dirt. So I think there's like some kind of, it's not the best. I'm not plugged into the best system overall. So if this happens again, hopefully it doesn't happen again. You'll know why. But welcome to part 2.
Welcome to part 2.
Yeah. This is not related to any of the technical difficulties I had with the robot jukebox. Surprisingly, this problem hasn't happened. This problem doesn't really happen often. So I'm hoping against hope that this is going to be a once in a lifetime event, a fluke. That would be nice. Anyway, up next, where the hell even were we? Hang on, I gotta blow my nose. I'm currently sick, actually. I'll be right back. Just
sorry to hear that.
It's fine. I'll just be a second. All right. All right. Just nice refresher there. Okay. So, where the hell were we? What do you like? Yeah.
I can't remember what the question was, but I was saying something about. It was something about what you like about the genres, right?
Yeah, what you like about the genres of music you create.
Yeah. So I'd gotten to the point where I was talking about, how punk and hip hop are, like revolutionary genres, and genres for the sake of speaking out against an oppressive system.
Right.
And then I think you said something about like that's hip hop at its best.
Yeah.
Like,
and then I mentioned the songs. Yeah.
Yeah. There can be like situations where music can be like hijacked by the industry and exploited for the financial gain of the major labels. But I will say as well, I think that rap music in general often gets a lot of flack these days for being meaningless or being like vulgar, just talking about like
sex and
money and sex and all of that stuff. And but what I will say is that I think that a lot of that content still is revolutionary in and of itself, because like if you have, for example, like Sexy Red or any of these Cardi B or whoever, these artists talking about like their pussy and stuff like that in their song, I think that that is a reclamation of women's sexuality that for so much of human history has been taken away from them, and it's been like, you can't have your own sexuality, you are only a sexual object for men's desire. And I think for them to flip the script and be like speaking from a stereotypically male perspective, talking about like, this is my body and these are the things that you are going to do to my body, my pussy, and all of these things. I think that in and of itself is a very powerful reclamation of something that has been, that they should have the rights to, and they should be able to speak on their body and do what they want with their body, but for most of human history they've not been able to do that. So I think that even the lyrics that are so often get so much flack for not being meaningful are very powerful just for their existence.
I think especially like you said, like with female rappers, women who reclaim that shit. I think that's awesome as hell. No, totally.
Yeah.
I got the same vibe. It's like confidence.
Yeah.
And fuck, I was gonna say something on to this effect at some point. No, I think you mentioned something like, I like it. Now, I never like grew up listening to hip hop. But one of the things I love about rap is how fast you can say things, and it just is always, this always like felt like a waste of like you could say so much more with the words you're using than just all the different double entendres and euphemisms to describe sex. And
yeah.
I don't know, it's like you could be talking about so much more with all the words you're using, but you're not. It's almost impressive in and of itself how little they talk about with how many words and syllables they use.
And I think, honestly, even that is revolutionary and is a political statement, because like I have a friend who was talking to me being like, I can't remember exactly what she said, but she was talking about like making political rap versus making rap that isn't talking about anything. And just talking about like having fun and having a good time and stuff. And I was like, I think that, like, with this specific artist, I was like, I think that you as a brown woman speaking, like, anything that you're talking about, the system has decided that your entire life is politicized and is political, and you just existing is political. So even for you to get on a song and just be like, I'm having a great fucking time, and not even talk about the system that is oppressing you, that in and of itself is making a political statement, because you're saying like, because she was saying like, I don't want to make music that's not about anything. I want to always be saying something. And I was like, I think whether you like it or not, you are always saying something, because the system has decided that your existence is political. And so therefore, you just existing and you just living and you just being like, yeah, I'm having a good time, is fucking like anti to the entire system that we are living in. For a black man to get on fucking a record and be like, I'm making a shit ton of fucking money, that in and of itself it's completely counter to what the system wants to be happening. So it's
that's a good point. Yeah. That's a good point. I never thought of it that way. That's a good point. I like that. Also, hi, Ordy and Azraim. Welcome to the chat. And good morning.
Good morning. What time is it there?
He lives in Malaysia. I think it is, I don't know what time it is in Malaysia. I think it's closer to your time zone than it is to mine, though.
What time is it for you?
It is still Monday for me at 5:19.
Okay. Yeah, so there's a little bit of a time difference.
Okay, it's 9 a.m. for Azaram.
It is 2 p.m. for me. 2 p.m. on Tuesday.
Okay. So you're ahead of Azaram. Okay. You're ahead of both of us. Yeah. I haven't even had, it's funny because I really should have talked to you about the time zone differences before we did this, and I think that would have helped alleviate confusion, because I said Monday assuming the time zones were like insignificant enough that you would be like, oh, maybe it's like a few hours ahead, but it's like, no, you're a whole ass day ahead.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, never mind. So it's for you, it's Tuesdays. My stream, the interview is on Tuesday. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. I'm pretty used to that though, because I'm from Canada, so anyone that I speak to there, I just have to like adjust for a day forward whenever.
Yeah. And like hearing you talk, I just assumed, okay, you're probably in North America, right? Yeah. So it's like, okay. But no, you're in fucking New Zealand, so.
New Zealand, baby.
All right. I'm very geographically challenged, so I don't really know what time zone New Zealand is until I looked it up. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, we're pretty far down south. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, let's see. Here's another question. What message are you trying to convey with your music?
I think there's a lot of messages depending on the song, but I think the core message that I want to get across to people as an artist is that because of like my past and where I've come from versus where I am now, that everyone deserves a second chance. Everyone is worthy of redemption, and your past actions do not define, and everyone's worthy of forgiveness, and you can get through anything, and your past actions don't define who you are as a person. That is like the core of everything that I want to represent in the world.
I really like that. I really like that. That's kind of something that I always believed that, but like that's something that I needed to like kind of like, okay, so this is going to be a little bit of lore for me, but I surrounded myself with a lot of like people on the left. I am what I would be considered like a radical leftist by many. So much so like I don't like not necessarily like the activist kind, but like the terminally online Puritan kind, which can be annoying and insufferable. And it's like like for a while in my life, I've lived in almost fear of upsetting people. Like not rocking the boat in a strange way, not rocking the boat too much, not coming off as offensive and alienating people. It also like being friends with I'm friends with a lot of minorities, especially queer and LGBTQ people, and I learned so much from that experience. And it's to me almost an opposite like exposure. Like I almost had like the opposite experience of a lot of people. I had like exposure therapy to like I don't want to say normal people. That's icky. But I guess like a majority of the human population, which is like cis and straight, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Instead of like my little bubble. And it's like, I experienced massive culture shock and that whole thing. Cause like I surrounded myself in just like such like, where am I going with this? My point is, I had a very like, I guess, I was raised into like, and like I have an anxiety disorder, so none of this was like explicitly told to me like, oh, if you slip up, you are no longer one of us. It was more like implied. It was more like implied, like you can't slip up. I don't want to be alienated by other people.
Yeah.
And that kind of like transition to like the way other people behaved too. Like if I saw someone say something ignorant, my first response was, they're a horrible human being, irredeemable, not worthy of my sympathy. And I just assume the worst case scenario about everything they believe in.
Yeah.
And it was like character growth for me in a way to like slowly realize, oh wait, not all people who supported Trump are Nazis. Fascinating. And it's like, I still don't like, I still obviously don't like Trump and I don't agree with anything he's doing, but it's like, I can begin to understand the points of view of other people who may not have had the same experience as I did. And be and show a little bit more grace, I guess.
Yeah.
And I'm realizing too, like I have the privilege as like a white guy, in many respects, to be a bit more far removed from the immediate effects of the Trump administration and what it's going to do to a lot of people in America. And it's like, okay, with that privilege, I can choose to educate people who these other minorities who are being targeted may not have the energy for, and overall make my political ideology, make the vibes in my political ideology more welcoming to people who are who just realize the error of their ways, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
I recently made a punk album called Flightless Bird, actually. Where I kind of vented a lot of my frustrations, but also like leaned in on that message as well. And okay, see ya, Azraim. Yeah, that was a long-winded tangent, but I wanted to say that in response to what you said about, I guess, giving people a chance.
Yeah. And I think
change.
That's exactly it. Yeah, like you don't have to agree with the things that people say or the things that people do. It's just about like remembering, which is hard. It's like these things they're a lot easier said than done, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But just trying to keep in mind that everyone is people that are worthy of dignity and respect and compassion and forgiveness, and that doesn't mean just automatically
excusing bad behavior.
Yeah, exactly. But it means trying as best you can. And I really like what you said about that position of privilege, because I feel the same way. Like, it's a lot easier for a white guy to be able to say this stuff. Mm-hmm. And a lot easier for a white guy to be able to, like, try to have open arms to a fucking Nazi than it is for, like, a fucking brown woman or, you know.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I think it especially for fucking left-leaning white guys, it is our responsibility almost to try to be the ones to fucking educate some of these really misguided people. And I don't know.
Yeah, it was like a wake-up call for me to like really, like, because I have anger issues, and they cause me to react in ways I'm not proud of in many respects. And realizing Trump won the popular vote in this election, and realizing that a lot of the musicians in my own friend group who I've had interactions with, and they're really nice people, have either supported or wanted him to win the election.
Right.
I'm like, okay, I need to do some soul searching and maturing. I need to realize that these people aren't going to go away anytime soon. Refusing to listen to them or understand why they're voting the way they're voting is going to be detrimental to me in the long run, and detrimental to what I'm trying to advocate for.
Yeah,
because it's like clearly not going to go away. I can't bully them into not voting for Donald Trump. It's clear their ideology, whether misguided or not, is clearly a strong one. And for whatever reason, a lot of people are under the misguided assumption that he's going to be some kind of populist that'll help them, because a lot of them are like working class people who don't know any better. Yeah. And it's like, it's like realizing that really, I think, helped me mature in many respects, I guess.
And like dehumanizing them and alienating them only serves to like push them further into that ideology.
Exactly. And that's one thing that I never really liked about the left. That I understand. Again, just like I empathize with the Trump supporters, I can empathize with those people who are dehumanizing the Trump supporters, because like a lot of them are a lot of them are scared minorities of some kind who just don't have the bandwidth to handhold people who directly or indirectly want them dead, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like understandable, but it's like that's something I needed to learn and overcome, because like I've always had like, I'm a kind of a sensitive guy, and when I see shit directed at my, like, I hate stereotypes, and when I see negative stereotypes about like, oh, men or white men, sometimes I feel like, oh, like, I don't know, I don't always like that shit, but I have I have the maturity to realize that I have the maturity to, or like, not even the maturity, I have the education and I understand that they're not actually saying what they mean, like, they're not saying what they're not saying what it sounds like they're meaning. It's like they're just kind of frustrated and angry at the world. But it's like that made me realize more and more. It's like, but these Trump supporters, they don't know that. They see that shit, and they see a ideology or a group of people that is not welcoming to them, and is to them from someone who from the POV of someone who's never been oppressed. Really, they see that feels like oppression. That feels like oppression, and they don't appreciate being alienated, and just ironically, just by virtue of being men or whatever other privilege they may have, their whiteness, their straightness, whatever. And it's like, okay, wow. So it was kind of a learning curve for me to be like, okay, well, maybe I should actually listen to every time I feel like every time I get hurt feelings, and I brush it off. It's like, well, not everybody's brushing it off like I am. Right. Yeah. Totally. So it's like, I got to listen to that shit and tell them and like kind of meet them where they are, I guess. Yep. 100%. 100%. And I think like as we've been touching on it, as you were saying before, like it's not holding it against anyone who is part of a group that is being targeted by these people and is not capable at this point, especially in like this point in their like probably in their recovery from fucking trauma because of it, to reach out to them and show them grace. You know, it's for the people that are capable of it. And like I think it's really important to note that as well. Like, you wouldn't expect, like, these are like, it's very much like an active abuse situation, you know, like the person that is abusing is still a person, but you would not expect the person that is being abused to go to the person that is abusing them, or the person that is being violent towards them, or the person that's threatening their life, and give them a hug and tell them that they forgive them and they accept them and all of that stuff. If they want to do that for them and for their recovery, that's fantastic. But we can't say, you have to do this. You, the person who is being oppressed by this other person, who is still a person, you need to take this on the chin, and you need to be the one to go up to them and show them grace and educate them. Yeah. You know? And that's an interesting thing. That's an interesting analogy too, because it's like, unlike that situation, and I still think it's a cool analogy, but unlike that situation, it's like we're not dealing with an individual by individual basis. We're dealing with groups of people that have similarities, some of which, like, I mean, I know I benefit from white privilege and like blah 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 blah, and like I'll benefit from being a man and the patriarchy and how that's benefited me, but I never asked for that shit. I don't want that shit, but I'm still being But when people say certain people say all men are this, all men are that, I'm still being roped into that picture technically, even though I didn't ask for it. And it's like, it's not just a abuser and abused situation. It's the people who just are like that, I guess, being lumped in with the abusers. And it's like, I think those are the kinds of people who feel alienated by the rhetoric on the left, and are like, well, hold on a second, I'm being blamed for shit I never did or never wanted to to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something I'm mature enough to let go of, but not everybody is.
Yeah. And it's definitely something that can widen the divide and the factions, when in reality, it's not. It's like what everyone has been saying since I guess they've kind of stopped, but after the Luigi Mangione, and everyone was like, it's not left versus right, it's
rich versus
down.
poor. Yeah,
exactly.
Up versus down.
Yeah, we need to stop splitting ourselves up because they want us to be split up, because it's a divide and conquer tactic.
No, totally, 100%. I mean, they use that like since the early birthing of American history. It's like the Irish settlers and the fucking Africans, like African settlers or people, I'm not the biggest history guy, but like I heard somewhere that it's like, oh, the rich kind of like told the poor white Irish people that they're like, oh, you're better than those black people.
Yeah.
We're going to separate you with the label whiteness.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Anyway. God, I guess this is just what happens when we share a lot of the same ideologies. We just go off. What were we talking about? Music.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. So, let's see. What new genres have you considered trying out, if any?
So LOVE and Growing Pains are like pop songs.
Right.
I've got like some music coming out with a group soon. Cool. The group is like, it's me and Tammy and this producer named Taimana, and the group is called Other Woman, and it is the songs. The one that we're about to release is kind of like grunge, indie, rock, hip hop. Yeah, I don't know. All the genres. I want to do all the genres. I want to do them all. I've been working with this producer named Andrew, and I like recently was like, I want to try doing like a gospel rap song.
Ooh.
Just like mix it up a little bit. I'm gonna do some jazz. I want to do it all.
That should be fun.
Yeah.
That'd be dope, dude.
I think so. I think it would be cool.
Yeah, man, that's sick. Yeah, that's awesome. Totally support that. Let's see. This is the last question in the list of music questions. Okay. What do you get out of making music?
It's really therapeutic for me. It is like it's an outlet it helps me get my thoughts and ruminations, whether that be about like my past or my recovery or the world or even just like stupid little interpersonal things with people, whatever it is, like writing a verse about it or writing a song or recording a song is like, for me, it's the best way to get what is inside outside. So that's what I personally get from it. And then I hope other people can also find solace in it and get similar things from it as well. I want to be able to help people with my music as much as it helps me.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. I like that. Yeah. Speaking of music, we're gonna play song 2 in the list of songs you came up with. All that on the first part of the stream.
Yeah.
What was the next one you wanted to play?
I wanted to go through the Entropy EP, so we'll just start at the top.
Okay, cool. Let's go. Synthesis. That means we're gonna play Synthesis. Let's go. All right.
I'm convinced you faked your death. You just needed to get out of trouble, escape some debt, evade the feds. You hated everything that I am. How can I blame you for that? And some days I still do. Every single one of us, we all come from something. We all come from something. Nothing comes from nowhere.
Wow. That was synthesis. God, that gave me chills.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I love that song. I really like that ending, especially yeah. I mean, I'm sure you know which part I'm talking about. But God, I want to know about that song. I want to know not just the technical shit. I want to know what it was about. Where you were at when you wrote those lyrics. What they're about.
So this EP, the whole thing is about when I was in high school, there was this guy, and the two of us were friends, and then we kind of became like not really friends. We like had a thing for the same girl, and we would like yeah, there was a lot of like rivalry and competition. We were like, you know, like high school drama stuff. Like we were like splitting our, trying to turn our friends against each other, just like stupid high school stuff. And then that girl that we both had a thing for, I ended up getting into a relationship with. I was with her for about 5 years, a little bit less than 5 years, and it was a very bad relationship. It was a very toxic relationship. I did a lot of things that I'm not proud of, that I still have to reckon with. And then we broke up, and she, after we broke up, after like maybe like, I don't know, 6 months or something like that, after we broke up, she started seeing that other guy. I moved away. I moved to New Zealand. I got into the relationship that I'm in now. Just moved on with my life. You know, I was getting sober and started to make music and all of this stuff. And I'd like left that whole life behind. And then I found out one day one of my friends from high school called me and told me that that guy who I had this whole complicated relationship with, who is now still in a relationship with my ex, that I was still dealing with some guilt over that relationship. He had been murdered.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And it was quite sudden, and it was really difficult. And his name was Gabriel. And right after he died, New Zealand was hit by a really, really bad hurricane, and it was called Hurricane Gabriel, and it caused like a lot of flooding and stuff, and it was really bad. And it was very easy for me to make that connection.
The symbolism in that.
Yeah, I felt like this guy, I had done him so wrong. The last messages that he had sent me before like blocking me and us not speaking to each other were like horrible, like about how he was like gonna kill me and all of this stuff. Like
Right.
we really did not like each other, and he was in a relationship with my ex who has been through a lot of trauma in her life, and now her partner was just murdered suddenly in the middle of the night. You know, she's like up, he's out at a bar, she's like up, like texting him all night, like, where the fuck are you? When are you coming home? Why are you not home yet? And then finds out that it's because he was murdered. And so it was a lot of guilt that I was feeling, a lot of like reflection on my life and on my past, and the things that I had done and the things that I still hadn't forgiven myself for, and self-hatred, and yeah. So entropy is like it's one of the laws of thermodynamics that like a system will like slowly decay from order into chaos over time, right? Like particles will like drift apart from each other, heat will be lost, and order will shift into chaos, decay will happen. Entropy is basically like decay. It is like, it's what will cause the heat death of the universe one day, when everything's so far apart from each other that heat can no longer bounce between molecules. So that is kind of the concept behind the album. Is it's about decay, and it's about chaos, but then it's also about like the circle of life, and the fact that growth requires decay in order to happen, you know.
Rebirth,
synthesis, decomposition. Like, it's a cycle of synthesis and decomposition.
That kind of explains the cover art. Actually, it's very symbolic in that respect.
It is.
I see like vines and flowers growing out of what looks like some kind of husk of something.
And
I
it's
like that.
The earth, but it's also in the shape of my head, and
Oh wow, I didn't even catch that. It was the shape of your head. That's cool.
Yeah. So it's that's what it is.
Nice.
So that's kind of where it came from. I was in a very dark place and dealing with some really difficult stuff, while simultaneously trying to maintain my recovery and maintain my sobriety. And this EP was just an outlet for all of that, and to help me process it.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. Anyway. Up next, we've got marketing questions.
Okay, cool.
All right. So, where can people listen to your music?
Listen to it on Bandcamp, because fuck Spotify.
You heard it first.
Listen to it on Spotify. You can listen to it on Apple Music, Amazon Music, YouTube Music, wherever you listen to your stuff. But I'm really trying to move away from the digital streaming platforms and move more towards like a direct artist to consumer situation.
Yeah. I like that. In fact, fuck it. I didn't even realize you had a Bandcamp. I'm probably gonna fucking buy Love off of you.
Hell yeah.
Because I listen to that shit all the time. I remember when downloading songs was still like the thing you did.
Yeah, me too. And I miss that. You know what? Like, fucking, if you don't have a Bandcamp, you don't have streaming services, which you shouldn't, because they rip off fucking artists. I've been thinking about canceling my spot. I haven't done it yet because it's still like really convenient. But if you want my music, just fucking send me a DM on Instagram or something, and I'll just send you some fucking WAV files, you know?
Hell yeah.
Let's go back to the olden days.
Yeah. The only thing I don't like about that old style method is like, I feel like streaming platforms is still a good way to consume music. I just wish the companies treated the artists better, because in other respects, downloading songs, like, technologically wise, is like takes up a lot of space. I don't really have a good player on my computer or my phone.
Yeah, it is.
There's like VLC,
which is actually why Bandcamp is the best one, because you can still stream the songs. You know, you can buy a song directly from the artist, and then you can still stream it through their streaming platform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a Bandcamp too. It always feels for a while I didn't get a Bandcamp, mainly because it felt more like charity with extra steps, or I felt like donating with extra steps, which I still think is cool. I still think is good, but it's like, realistically, I'm not going to listen to a WAV file on my computer.
Yeah,
I'll just listen to YouTube Music.
Yeah,
because it's more convenient. But it's like it's still a way to support. It's still a way to like support an artist. It's just a strange, like almost surreal situation where it's like, yeah, it's cool that you can buy artists off of music, or buy music off of musicians now. But are you really buying the music? Really?
Yeah.
When you can hear it everywhere.
Yeah.
And you're probably never going to listen to the WAV file, maybe once or twice.
I also only very recently got a Bandcamp. I didn't get it for a really long time, but as far as I understand now, if you have the Bandcamp app, you can stream artists on the Bandcamp app as well. You don't have to just listen to a WAV file that you download. So like when you set up a Bandcamp, you can set the number of times that someone is allowed to stream your song for free before they have to buy it. And then after that, they pay the $1 or 50 cents or whatever you set the price as.
Okay.
They buy it. And then
I never realized that. That's fascinating. That's another thing I realized. I was like, you can also play the songs on the very platform you're supposed to buy the songs off of.
Yeah.
It's like, what am I paying for?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like tips, but for musicians.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. Let's see. Another marketing question. Do you perform live or ever plan to in the future? Cool.
I do. I perform live all the time. On Wednesday, me and Tammy, Other Woman, has our debut single as a group coming out on Friday. So, Taimana, the producer, is in Berlin right now, but Tammy and I are starting on this Wednesday, every Wednesday for the next 6 weeks. We are going to be performing live sets at beaches around Auckland, just for fun, free sets, pull up, and you can watch us do our stuff live. Yeah, we had our Artists for Palestine show.
Nice.
Our most recent one was very successful. That was a couple weeks ago. I'm opening for a group called Slimovich on March 14th at also in Auckland. So if you're in Auckland, come watch that.
If I'm in the area, just if I'm passing through, if I'm in the area, yeah.
Yeah. If you just happen to be 40,000 miles away from yourself, I don't know actually how far.
I'm in California. I'm in California.
So it's pretty far.
Pretty far.
Just a quick jump over the Pacific.
Yeah.
And I've got a lot more stuff planned for this year. I'm gonna do more fundraiser shows for Palestine. Tammy and Taimana and I are hoping to do a tour of the country when the album as the group comes out in October. Nice. Bunch of stuff. I love performing live.
Nice. That's sick. All right, up next. Where and how do you promote your music?
TikTok and Instagram are my main ones. I'm also on Facebook and Twitter and Clapper and Clapper, yeah.
Never heard of it.
It's like TikTok. It was originally started as like a fucking alt-right version of TikTok, but then when the ban was happening and when all of the like silencing Palestinian content was happening, there was like a big push to move to Clapper because their whole thing is centered around free speech. So they're not going to silence your content. So now it's like a weird, very politically charged landscape where it's like.
So just like Twitter, but for short form videos.
Yeah.
Nice.
Exactly. Extremely politically charged, radical people arguing over. Yeah. I
had to get the fuck off Twitter. I'm still on Twitter, but I only use it to promote my shit. I never scroll there anymore. It's like why would you ever do that to your mental health? It's like ruins my mental health so quickly.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty much any social media platform. I've been meaning to set up like a Blue Sky and stuff recently, actually. Now that the like Meta people are moving away from that as well.
Yeah, but no. I'm really intrigued with Blue Sky. I wish it was more of an active community. Like I wish they had group chats like they do on X or Twitter. It's like it's still kind of a ghost town. It's kind of sad, but like and it's like in many respects, I hate to say this, but part of the addictive nature of scrolling is to get I'm partially addicted to controversy and rage bait.
Totally,
but it's like I don't think that's a good thing. I think the fact that I don't regularly scroll on Blue Sky is actually good.
That's a good point. I like that.
Yeah.
It's probably not good for them as a platform, but it's a really interesting business model to have, like an anti-social media site.
Yeah, and not an anti-social media site in the sense of being antisocial, like being a fucking asshole.
Yeah. But like anti everything that social media has become, you know?
Yeah, where your clicks, your attention is like, yeah. No, it's cool.
Give you little dopamine boosts.
It's great. It's cool. My friend James, he has a band called Klizmic. He has a punk song all about the problems with social media and that kind of shit. Cool. It's called "Find the King," I believe.
That's awesome. You should send it to me after we finish this.
Yeah, totally. Anyway, let's go. What's the next one? So what do you use to make music? I kind of got your vibe overall. Like, you're not really a producer. You are mostly a rapper. Is that it? Or like a
That's correct.
Vocalist?
Yeah, I'd really like to learn how to produce, but as it stands right now, I'm just a vocalist. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. And this is kind of also one that we touched on earlier. Do you use a distributor? I guess the answer is no. You use a label, an indie label.
I do. I use an indie label called Big Pop Records. If you're in Auckland, go check them out.
Hell yeah. Here's the question, and maybe you have to take this up with your indie label. But does your label use a publishing administrator, or have publishing administration? Like how do they collect your like live royalties?
I believe live royalties, like from live performances. So that's all
like ASCAP or BMI, that kind of thing.
Yeah. BMI is, what does that stand for?
I forget what it stands for, but it's a publishing administrator.
I think they're connected to BMI, and they also use Zelon, and then in New Zealand, the royalties are distributed, like for live stuff, is distributed by a group called APRA. So yeah, we're connected to them as well. But any artist can register with APRA, and then you get your money from that. They're great, actually. I've made like a surprising amount of money from live performances from them. Like all you do is you just do the performance, and then you just go on and you're like, these are the songs I performed. This is where I performed it. And then like every quarter they just like send you some money, you know? It's sick.
That's sick. Yeah. I have ASCAP. I'm still behind on that shit, but it's like, it feels weird doing it since I'm not live performing, but I do want to someday.
So I believe APRA is the Australasia Pacific version of ASCAP. It's like the same thing.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Nice. Let's see. What's something you feel needs improvement?
What's something I feel needs improvement? Like in my art?
Yeah.
Or in the world?
I mean, we could. I feel like in the world we won't get through the list of the remaining list of questions. Yeah.
I mean, I think I touched on it a little bit before. Like, I'd really like to re-release my debut mixtape. I'm not super. I think that the messages and the intention behind the songs is really, really strong. But I feel like I've grown a lot as an artist and improved a lot in my understanding of like what makes good music since then. And I think that I could make the same songs but a lot better if I was to go back and do it again.
I get that.
Yeah. I still want to work on, I still think I have a lot more to improve in general. Like it's always growth, you know. I don't want to ever feel like I've like achieved the goal of where I want to be as an artist, because then I think that I would just be stagnating. I always want to be trying to get to the next step. I think I really want to diversify my flows a little bit more. I want to work on my breath control and my intonation a little bit more. I love the way that Kendrick plays with his intonation, and I really wish that I could, like, I can do it a little bit, obviously, but I just want to work. Yeah.
I get that. I like that. So, let's go to the next song. This is Decomposition from the Entropy EP. Let's go. I think that's fireplace crackling, or just crackling in general. Nothing's flipping. I don't think.
No, yeah, it's in the song.
Yeah. Wow. Huh. That was Decomposition.
I think the title explains it pretty well.
Yeah, no, totally. And with your added context, it's like, Azraim says this doesn't sound like rap, feels more noise ambience, which is interesting.
Yes. This EP is definitely, I think there's only one song where I rap on it at all. This EP is definitely the most experimental of the music that I've done so far, and I was definitely trying to pull from noise and ambient music a lot in it, because it was just kind of like an expression of like, it was literally just like vomiting my thoughts into the world, you know, and a lot of what I was feeling and thinking at that time was just fucking chaos. So
yeah, that's the kind of vibe I got from that track, was chaos. Decomposition. It sounded a lot like, I mean, now now hearing all about the story that you laid out, explaining the EP, it's like I'm getting a lot more glimpses into like the message and the vibe. It's like it feels like, I mean, it's a bunch of people arguing and screaming screaming and a lot of vitriol being thrown. It's like, I does that tie back to your life in any way? I'm guessing
it does, yeah. But it was very much like that one specifically was more of like my own inner dialogue that I was trying to represent, because I was feeling so much like self-hatred at that time because of the guilt that I felt for the things that I had done to this person, the way that I had left that relationship. And like, I felt like now he was dead and there was no way that I could ever like make amends. There was no way that I could ever like get past that. And
yeah,
you know, so then a lot of it was like, I think like at one point I'm talking about like how like, you say that you're doing this to help other people, but it's just for you. It's all just for you. Everything you do is just for you. Like, I'm talking, like, I felt like my music was very self-serving, and I was like being fake in my representation, that I wanted to like help people with it, and that it was all just like, you know? So yeah, it was me. That song is very much just like the voices in my head and the way that I was speaking to myself at that point in time, the negative self-talk.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. I mean, I have a lot of those same negative self-talk voices sometimes as well. I get it. Like, especially in like, especially in like, I guess, activism situations where it's like, oh, and when it comes to my music, it's like, or like, I have a lot of these ideals like, oh, but maybe I'm just doing it to like feel good about myself, like I'm a good person for caring, and actually being like, oh, but what, maybe I'm not even doing enough, maybe I'm just believing the right things because it makes me feel good. I don't know.
Yep, I know exactly how you feel. I think the same as well. I think it's very common, both with artists and with activists. I think anyone that is like socially minded or empathetic or sensitive, any of the things that make an artist and any of the things that make an activist, it's very easy to judge yourself, you know?
Yeah.
It makes it hard. Yeah.
Being self-aware, very self-aware.
Yeah, self-awareness and self-consciousness are literally synonyms, you know? Awareness and consciousness.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So now we're gonna move into the technical questions. Yes, the technical questions.
Technical questions.
Do you know music theory?
I do know music theory. I took piano lessons from 7 to 17, maybe.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm not very good at reading sheet music. I won't lie, but I can do it, and yeah, I know keys and scales and time signatures and all of that jazz. Yeah, nice. I mean, I went to school for it as well, high school. So yeah. Sure.
Cool. All right.
I used to be a lot better at it when I was practicing it more often, but I think it does still inform some of the musical decisions that I make.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
This is another question that's irrelevant. I'm just gonna skip it.
No, go ahead. If it's producer stuff, like I don't produce, but I'm not just like having a producer make a beat by themselves and then rapping over it, you know, like we're very collaborative in the room together. So
actually, I'm realizing more and more, actually. I think I went over this.
Okay.
I'm a little confused. I might have... Wow, actually, I skipped over a few of the marketing questions and jumped to the technical questions. That's what it is. Because I didn't ask them these questions, so I think it was, where and how do you promote your music? We did this.
Yeah.
Oh, here's one. I never asked this question. How did you come up with your name and your name? I'll just go with name.
The name, it was in Navigators. It really just came up very naturally. I was just like, we were sitting around the table, and I was like, what do you guys think my rap name should be? And they were just like, your name is Dalen. That's a really cool name. I think you should just keep it as that. And I was like, okay, yeah, cool. And then the 13 is just like, I associate, I connect a lot with like those like things that are stereotypically seen as dark, but are in reality not so much. I've found Friday the 13th to be like kind of a lucky day for me in the past. Someone then later told me that 13 was Taylor Swift's thing, and I was like, God damn it. But it is what it is. I don't know. I just like yeah, I like that, like stereotypically, I like flipping that kind of stereotypically negative stuff on its head, you know, 666 and 13.
Yeah.
And
I like
stuff that people would just see as dark, but I don't think there's more to the story than that. It's kind of what my artistry is about.
I like that. So let's see. I didn't realize your real name was Dalen. That's sick.
It is, yeah.
Cool.
Birth given name.
Nice. I have a fairly rare name with Keegan Clark as well. It took me a while to realize like how rare it was, or just I guess like that I should use it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah. Let's see. Do you have merch, or do you ever want to have merch?
I do. I have so much merch.
Cool.
If you buy the Artist for Palestine t-shirts, 100% of the proceeds are donated. I
might just do that.
Yeah, pick it up. I can mail it to you.
Hell yeah.
All the sizes, except I think I just ran out of smalls, but I have medium up to 5XL right now.
What charity does it go to?
So we were donating to UNRWA at first, but recently we've started donating to a family who is trying to get out of Gaza, because we felt that it was more valuable to be like directly supporting this family. I know one of them. Her name is Minas, and she has like spoken at our stuff, and it's her family in Gaza that she's trying to get out of Gaza and into New Zealand. So we were just kind of like, we know this person. She's coming and speaking at our events, and she is actively trying to get her family out and doesn't have enough money for it. We're raising all this money, and then we're giving it to these charities, and in response we just get like a generic email that's like, thanks for your donation, and then we're like, where did the thousands of dollars just go? You know, we see nothing else. So we were like, let's give it to Minas's family. That makes more sense. So that's awesome. Where the money is going now. I think they've raised. We've raised about $4,000 for them in total. They're coming up on. I think they have like another 10,000 from their Give a Little page, so they're like coming up on $15,000. But it's very, very expensive to get out of Gaza. We're waiting for the border to open again in March, and then they can cross, and then hopefully fly to New Zealand and get their visas and stuff. But it's quite difficult. The New Zealand government doesn't have any humanitarian visas or anything available, so they just have to apply for like regular work visas.
Wow.
Which is pretty good. Yeah.
Eesh.
Yeah, but that's where the money is going. I also have a bunch of merch just like for myself. It has my like logo, which you'll see on like all of the 713-7 songs, like Harmless and Ben Riley and all of those. That like the face, I call the face Grumpy. It's like the eyes with the mouth, the little stitches on the corners. That's my logo. It's just like a face that I started drawing when I was a teenager, and I was like, I think this is really cool, and I wanted to keep it. So if you want merch with that face on it, I've got t-shirts, sweaters, all the merch that I do for that is upcycled for individuality and sustainability's sake. So every single piece is one of one. It's all like hand done. I've got like bleached stuff, airbrushed stuff, embroidered stuff, like a whole bunch of stuff. Everything is super individual and super unique.
Right.
I used to have an online store, but I wasn't getting enough sales to make sense to keep the website. You can buy my stuff at my shows if you come to my shows, and then also I've been meaning to put it on Bandcamp. I will get it up on Bandcamp, and then you can look through all of the stuff and buy any of them. And yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
All right. Hell yeah. So, let's see. The next question is, do you have a centralized place to link all things you? I know the answer to that, but this is more or less for the audience.
Yeah, it's my Linktree. Linktree. Linktree.com/Daylan, DAY13N. Go there, and it's got everything. It's got all my socials, and then it's also got links to like some articles that people have done. It's got, whenever I have a show, it'll have links to buying the tickets for the shows. It's got some links to like the Give a Little page of the family that we're supporting right now. What else does it have? Like when I put music videos on YouTube, I'll link those there. The new songs, all that stuff, all that good stuff is on my Linktree. Go check it out.
Hell yeah! And also, I have your Linktree as a QR code right below you on the
Perfect.
Yeah. So
scan that QR code.
Scan that shit.
Scan that shit.
All right. So we're just gonna play the next song 4.
Cool.
Combustion, and then cohesively I'll move through the last segment of the interview.
Cool.
Combustion. Let's get on into that.
Negative self-talk, trying to get away. Every single day I'm trapped in a cage in my mind. I'm afraid I'm okay right now. There's no way out. There's no way out. It's a long way down and it's dark in here. There's a spark, but I fear it's not enough to light the way. Can't say if I'll see the light of day. I'm make the waves, so I just deluded, captivated by my own reflection. In a pool of sweat and tears and blood, nothing more that I get. The floods came and the angels cried and just laughed as I watched them die and I screamed to the sky. My God, oh why? Rebels are twisting my distorted image. Can't tell if I'm out there, I'm just lost in it. I came up from nothing. I keep saying that to myself. How much of it is true? Difference between the only and that knew me. I wanna see it, but I'm too busy beating myself up until I'm dizzy and I can't even fucking see myself. Fuck! I'm lost in the chaos. Let me take a break. Now don't applaud me. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Now shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. You got this. Shut up. You got this. You got way out of this. Yep. I know I can find my way out of this. Alright, here we go. That time. Yep. Think that I'm stuck in my old ways. Okay. Am I ever gonna better, but it's better. I'm shredded and degraded. Every letter of my name. Is there anyone to blame? Is there anyone to blame? No way out. Said it all before. There's no way out. Said it all before. There's no way out. Yeah, said it all before. Yeah, there's no way out. There's no way out. I'm afraid that there's no way out. I said it all before. Yeah, there's no way out. No way out. Yeah, there's no way out. Yeah, I said it all before. Yeah, there's no way out. No way out. Yeah, there's no way out. 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 Said it all before. Yeah, I said it all before. Yeah, there's no way out. 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 Fuck!
That was Combustion. Wow. I'm approaching these songs with a new appreciation now, hearing what they're about. This almost sounds like a panic attack in audio form.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly, you hit the nail on the head with that one. This one is it's combustion, it's everything going up in flames. It's me losing track of my recovery goals and having a manic episode and
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
No, that's definitely the vibe I got. I like how it kind of like cut into like almost like an old swing sample, or whatever that was. Is that
so the drums throughout the entire thing is a sample, and those horns come in at the end. It's a I'm trying to remember their names. I can send it to you. I have it. It's a drum battle. So there's 3 drummers on the stage at the same time, competing and having a drum off against each other. It's very old too. Like the video that we sampled it from is in black and white. And
oh wow.
Yeah, I just wanted when me and Abe, the guy that I made this with, he's an incredible producer, Abraham Student. He actually produced the Dalai Lama's album. Yeah, he when we were making this, I was like, I want this one to be just like insanely chaotic drums, like not a fucking drum loop or any of the stuff that's usually used in hip hop. I want like live drums. And he was like, watch this video of this drum battle with these like super famous drummers from like the fucking 50s, and he played it for me, and I was like, this is perfect, this is exactly what I want. So we built the entire song around, or it's really like the whole thing is one song, but we built this entire section of the EP around that drum sample,
even in decomposition as well.
Yeah. So I wrote the lyrics and everything. Oh, even decomposition?
Yeah.
No, sorry.
Just combustion.
Just this section, just combustion. That entire section was based around that drum sample.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. That's cool. I like that a lot. That's a nice origin. I had no idea.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to make. It was hard, though. It was really hard to write to such a chaotic drum beat. But I mean, it's exactly what I wanted, you know. So, and I'm really
I mean, it sounded deliberately arrhythmic. It sounded like you were losing cohesion. It sounded like you were like losing your shit. Which is, I think,
exactly. I'm desperately scrambling to try to get back on the beat and like trying to like hype myself up that I can do it, and then like failing to and being like, I can't fucking do this, and like
very auditorily symbolic in that respect. That's cool.
That's really what I tried with this entire EP. The goal of it was to be very symbolic in every way. Yeah.
That's nice. I like that. So. The final thing of questions. This is more like lighthearted, tongue-in-cheek artist trivia.
Cool, love that.
So, let's get on into it. The first question on this is, who's an artist we wouldn't expect you to listen to?
I don't know. I feel like I've.
Yeah, you kind of did touch. You kind of touched on some of that stuff earlier.
Yeah, like I feel like with the fact that I'm trying to do all these different genres, I feel like there's pretty much nothing that you wouldn't expect from me at this point. I guess Selena Gomez, but that's not really surprising because I made the pop songs. Let me keep thinking. Who's an artist you wouldn't expect me to listen to?
It's a very interesting question because that question involves a lot of self-awareness and how other people would perceive you and your art.
Yeah.
And then make judgments around you and what kind of stuff you would like.
Maybe Supertramp? No, that's too obvious as well. Let me just look. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Dominic Fike is too obvious as well. mom jeans, maybe.
Hmm.
But no, that I feel like that fits everything.
Maybe you won't find something. Do you like? I mean, if I could like throw a few things that I would be like, oh, okay, I wouldn't expect you to listen to that. That you may or may not listen to, like Smash Mouth.
Oh fuck yeah, I love Smash Mouth.
Okay, cool.
Did you know they have a song that goes, "Sorry about your penis. Sorry about your penis." It's fire. It's a song about like toxic masculinity and stuff. It's called "Sorry About Your Penis." It's lit.
I love that.
Smash Mouth slaps. So underrated.
Somebody once told me the word. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Honestly, I listen to fucking everything. Like there's yeah. Whatever you are like, there's no way that he listens to that. I'm sure I fucking listen to it, or at least listen to something like in the same vein. I really like music, man.
Right.
It's really cool.
Folk music? Any folk artists?
Yeah. What's the name? Fuck. My old roommate was really, really into this guy, so I listened to a lot of him because of my old roommate, the guy that sings Country Roads.
I don't know that guy. I don't know the person either, but I know this. Obviously, I know the song.
Yeah. I really like Feist as well. I guess she's like a folk artist. She's Canadian. Country Roads. John Denver.
Ah, okay. Nice.
I've listened to a little Bob Dylan, but I recently found out that he's a Zionist, so I'm like not fucking with him anymore.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. It is what it is.
What's your favorite and least favorite part about being a musician?
My favorite part about being a musician is like the connections that I make with people, I think.
Right.
Whether it be like other musicians or it be like fans on social media or people at the shows. Like I think the most meaningful and the most powerful thing is like it's happened a couple of times that like people have come up to me after a set and like been like really like tell me about how like emotionally moved they were by it, and it's like very it's very fulfilling and touching.
Yeah.
It makes me feel really good.
I can definitely vouch for that for sure. I mean, a lot of the songs in your 7-13-7 were very moving to me, especially like Pain and Sage, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that one. I think that one is people really like that one.
Yeah,
that's a good one. I should have picked that one. You know, I don't give that album enough credit. I think I'm being a little bit too hard on it right now because I feel like I've improved.
We can do that one instead of Synthesis Revisited.
I think we need to listen to Synthesis Revisited because we need to round off the EP. Like
that's fair.
The EP is it's designed to be.
You know what we'll do? We'll play Pain and Sage at the end of the interview as the sign off, as the send off, because I always do a send in song and then a send off song.
Perfect. That sounds like a good plan.
Cool.
So the next my least favorite thing about being
No. I got ahead of myself. I forgot that there was still a least favorite thing. Go on.
Right. My least favorite thing about being an artist is cold calling fucking like magazines and stuff. You know, like cold calling, like having a song coming out and then writing a release for it, and then like getting a bunch of emails from like the label and from other artists and from all these different people that like have their like press contact sheets, and they share them with you, and then they've got all these emails of like editors from different magazines and stuff like that, and then you just like email like 200 people and just be like, hi, I'm blah blah blah, and this is my new single, here's the release, you can listen to it at this link, blah blah blah. And then like you spend like all this time sending 200 fucking emails out, and you get like 5 replies maybe, and 3 of those replies are them being like, thanks so much, we're not interested. And then like maybe you get 2 hits if you're lucky, you know. It's very disheartening. It's very disheartening, and it's a lot of work to send all those fucking emails. So that's definitely my least favorite part.
I don't have that. I don't have that exact comparison 1-to-1, but I can definitely relate to that, where it's like you spend all this hard work trying to get something done, and you spend a lot of like time and energy on it, and then you release it and it gets like no attention.
Yeah,
it's like you say you don't want to make music or art for the praise of other people, but at the same time, it's like when you still kind of want acknowledgement for how much hard work you put into this, right?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Like
it's fun. You want to be able to be okay with just the internal validation, but a little external validation would be fucking nice, you know?
Exactly.
Just a little. Yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%.
I think that's the struggle of every up-and-coming and underground artist, you know?
What, 100%. Yeah. Up next, let's see. Oh, here's another good one. I'm curious to hear your answer to this. Would you rather have all the gear you could possibly want, or 3 placements with 3 of your favorite artists?
I feel like if I had 3 placements with 3 of my favorite artists, then the recognition that I could get from those artists and from their fan bases would get me enough momentum that I could get all of the gear that I want, whereas just having the gear wouldn't necessarily do the same thing. So I would say placements with the artists for sure.
It's funny, a lot of people have said the same thing as well. And judging by the conversations we've had, it feels to me like you would prefer the placements with the artists. Especially since you're trying to become number 1 and all that shit, you know?
Exactly. And then those placements with those artists, they're going to get me in with their producers, and their producers are going to be working out of crazy studios that have insane gear, you know?
Yeah, no, totally.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. This doesn't really apply to you either. But I'm gonna ask it. It feels silly. I'm just gonna explain. I'm just gonna say what the question is, even though it's silly, because it's like you're only doing one of these things. If you could only choose one of these, would you pick producing or vocalizing? Obviously,
I would choose vocal.
Yeah, because that's a question for people who do both.
Yeah. I do really, really want to learn to produce, though. I've just got this laptop and it has Logic on it, and
nice.
I've just been really busy with these releases. But as soon as I have some time for myself, I'm gonna figure out how to fucking produce, because it's been something that I've wanted to do like since I was a kid as well.
Hell so, yeah. Let's see. Last question before we play the last song. If you could... No, wait, that's literally the one I would just... Never mind. Okay. So, let's go back to Synthesis Revisited. Let's go. We're finishing up the EP. Let's go.
Yes.
never end. Everything we left behind, I'm no longer afraid to die. Every single one of us, we all come from something. We all come from something. Nothing comes from nowhere.
That was Synthesis Revisited by Dalen from the Entropy last song on the Entropy EP. That was really nice. I mean, it's the same, very similar to Synthesis. Both gave me chills. And I would say, especially the ending there, it kind of like the way the reverb and all that effects happened. It kind of reminds me of a song I produced in a EP called Ego Death, actually, which is interesting.
Well, I mean, Ego Death and Entropy definitely very similar vibes.
Yeah. Just like, I don't know. It's just it's almost like both Synthesis and Synthesis Revisited, which are, I guess, basically the same songs but split in two.
Yeah, correct.
It's like,
sorry,
okay, I wasn't talking to you, Siri. God damn it. It almost feels like, compared to the other two, where you're like way up in your like yourself, I guess. These ones seem to be almost like much more, I guess, distant and seeing the world from a 1,000-foot perspective or whatever.
Yeah, I think, yeah,
like a big picture situation going on. It's very, very soothing. Very, like, I don't know. It's a lot. I don't know how to explain it, but maybe you can explain it.
I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head with that as well. Like, it's about being able to like have that distance from your emotions and from the stimulus that are going to cause like negative reactions, being able to take that step back and see things from a little bit of a more removed place. They would call it, in dialectical behavioral therapy, they would call it wise mind. So you're being informed by your emotions, you're being informed by your rational mind as well, but you're not allowing either one of them to have control over you. You're having this like top down, I guess, kind of view of the situation, being able to take a step back from it a little bit.
Yeah,
that's kind of exactly what the whole thing is. The purpose of the reason why the beginning and the end are the same is because it's supposed to represent this like endless cycle that makes up life, you know, of synthesis into decomposition, into synthesis into decomposition, but then also of like recovery into relapse, into recovery into relapse, and yeah, from acceptance into denial, into acceptance into denial. Like the work is never done, and I think that's really like one of the things that I was trying to represent with the circular nature of the EP, and that like, because that's kind of where like I felt like I was so at such a place where like I'd been sober for a few years. I was like doing really, really well. I was making music. I was in therapy. I was in this really great relationship. And then this one thing happens and I like get completely like thrown back into the deep end of this like mindset in this place that I thought I was like not there anymore, you know, and that really like represented for me that the work is never done. It's just an endless cycle of what Ren says in his song. He says it's not a battle between good and evil, it's a pendulum eternally swaying from the darkness to the light, you know.
I like that. It's definitely. That's very insightful, very true. I think that's definitely. I never really even appreciated that in the sense that you can put the EP on repeat, and it almost kind of in that respect conveys a message.
And it will. If you do listen to it on repeat, I intentionally made it so the end of the song and the last song and the beginning of the first song sync up perfectly. So there's no.
That's wild. In that case, you could literally if you got rid of decomposition and combustion, could you just like play them seamlessly and you won't notice the difference?
You couldn't.
You couldn't,
because the end of synthesis perfectly goes into combustion, or perfectly goes into decomposition, and the end of combustion perfectly goes. You have to listen to the full thing in a circle, and it will all perfectly flow into itself.
That's sick. I like that. I never even considered, like, I've made songs that flow into another song before, but I've never considered like doing it in the sense of like on repeat, like on the last song and then the beginning song. I never considered that.
Honestly,
cool.
what gave me the idea for it was, I don't even know if he did it on purpose, but one of my friends made a single and he sent me the single. Did he send it to me? Or maybe I've listened to it when it first came out, but either way, when I listened to it, the first time I listened to it, I accidentally listened to it like 3 times because the ending and the beginning just flowed into itself perfectly. Like it would just play on a loop and there would be no break. And I was like, that's so fucking cool. And that's kind of what inspired the idea to have something circular like that. And then obviously like everything that was going on around this EP, like it just kind of like all fell into place and tied in really well.
That's a clever like sneaky thing you can do to get more streams, I'm realizing.
Right? So cheeky.
That's so cool. And they're like, wait a second, I heard this before.
Yeah, hang on. This isn't a third verse, this is the first verse again.
Yeah.
Well, I might as well finish the song. Oh my god, I'm listening to it a third time now. Yeah. Genius.
Anyway, man, I have to, unfortunately, I have to wrap up the stream. But thank you so much for coming through, my guy. This was very awesome.
Thank you so much for having me. This was a lot of fun. I really, really appreciate it. And I want to say as well, like, the care and the effort and the time that you've put into this is like, it's not unnoticed. Like, I think the questions that you asked were really, really insightful. Even just the fact that you, in the stream title, like, you put my name properly. A lot of people capitalize the D, and just noticing it being in lowercase. The whole thing means a lot to me, to show like the amount of effort and time and care that you put into like really, really making this like a good experience and like an insightful experience, and one that we can like really delve into some deep stuff. I don't know. You did a great job. You're a really, really good interviewer, and I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I definitely enjoy doing these interviews. I think these need to happen, and I would love to. It's interesting. It's interesting too, because it's like, remember how you said you want to get to the top? It's like the way I want to do with these interviews. Like, obviously, it's obviously to help the other artists, especially if they're like, small and upcoming like me. But in other respects, I do these interviews to work my way up to bigger and bigger fish, I guess.
Yeah.
And like
totally.
get yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so it's like, in that respect,
you're gonna be like Nardwar.
I don't know who that is.
You don't know who Nardwar, the human serviette, is? Oh.
No, I don't.
He's this interviewer from Vancouver, and he does crazy research on the and he interviews like really big like rappers and stuff, and then he'll always just like pull out some wild thing. Like he'll be like, "Do you remember Cynthia from grade 11 science class?" And they'll be like, "Nardwar, what the fuck, man? You can't keep saying that shit. Where are you getting this from?" And he'll like be like, "Here, I have a gift for you." And he'll pull out some like thing, and they'll be like, "Oh my god, that's the VHS that I like lost when I was 8 years old on a camping trip, and I've been searching for it." It's like, it's insane. It's actually insane. He's the greatest interviewer in the world.
Fucking stalks his guests.
Yeah, genuinely.
That's
like,
great.
people are like, "How did you get this information?" Like, people have been like, "Nardwar, if you ask me another question like that, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. Like, I'm running away. Like, I can't. You're freaking me the fuck out." It's so good.
Oh wow. I gotta start doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, you should check it out.
I should have looked in deeper. No, I don't have the attention span for that shit.
Fair enough. I don't know how he does it, honestly. He's like,
yeah. But no, totally. Thank you for coming on. I'm glad I could be a platform. And by the way, I know you make short form content. If you're at all interested, I could send you the VODs and you could make shorts out of them if you want.
I would love that. Yeah, I would really, really love that. That would be amazing.
Yeah, I've started doing that out of my own streams. My friend James, who I've mentioned several times at this point, interviewed me. I did that with his stuff on his. So it's a really great resource. We talked about songs individually, so that's a great way to promote music. And just promote you in general. So yeah, totally.
Yeah, we've got I mean, how long was this? It was a long time.
It was a long time. I mean,
hundreds of.
It's like 2 hours. It's like 2 hours basically between the two streams because it's like 2 VODs because it split in 2. But
yeah, so that's like if I made just 1 minute TikToks, I could make 120 of them, you know?
Yeah. I mean, not every moment in this interview is going to be a banger, but
Well, I mean, I think it was all bangers. I
appreciate that.
I think your questions were really, really fantastic,
cool.
And I think we had some really interesting conversations.
Yeah, well, glad to be of service. Anyway, I'll catch you on the flip side, I guess. See you around.
I will see you around. Thank you so much again.
Yeah. Peace.
Yeah. Have a good night.
Good night, man. All right. That was amazing. If you guys want to listen to some Dalen, I have his link tree in the description of the video. Check it out. And as always, thank you for coming through. I know we didn't have a lot of turnout, but Azraim, I saw you. Appreciate you coming through. And Abstract, shout out to you. Cheesing Time, thank you for coming through on the previous stream. Thank you for all the attention you gave this stream and the previous stream. Did not mean to split it into 2 there, but oh well. Shit happens. And just as Dalen requested, I am going to end the stream off with Pain and Sage from his album 713-7. And once again, I will see you in the next video or stream that I create. Peace.
Shit. Shit's fucking coming back. Can't keep it caged up forever. Y'all ready for this? Because I don't know if I am. Fuck. That you cage me. Give me a lot to inside you. Motherfucker, I'm the rage. It's born from ages and ages of running and cowardly hiding. Stood and you watch while your brothers were torn. They couldn't stand up. Well, I'm here to stand up now. Break down and break out and break a few faces all on the way. Yeah, this world you know, get this world you know. Every cut of my pain, I try and explain the shit that we've been through. Therapists tearing into your deepest, trying to get through to you, trying to get to me, but I'll never let them get to me. You knew I would come out eventually. Here I am, or at least what's left of me. Battered and beaten, so was defeated. They broke you, and out of the ashes they birthed me. They fucking unearthed me from the very depths of hell. And now they're all begging forgiveness, wishing that stuff is too late for them now. Think they deserve an answer, compassion. World deserves to burn, I deserve to go fuck a bad.
You all better run to swing in the hat. You win in the match up against the devil inside my mind. Or all you for back would never find. And it's never what you wanted to be. Get down on your knees, separate me. If you wanna be spared, nah, I don't care. You ain't escaping my wrath. You're all complacent, creating this asshole. Sit there and watch while he ruins your world. You brought this on yourself, lying to yourself. If you think you deserve anything less than the death that you gave to the innocent soul of a scared little boy. He wasn't your plaything, you toyed with his fragile emotions. Now look what you made. I hope that you paid your past. Now welcome to hell.
Hell. I've been there a long time. And the people that hurt me were there when they hurt me as well. Hurt people hurt more people. It's the cycle, the circle, the spiral that we're all trapped in. Why am I trying to drag more people down into that spiral? I can pull myself out and pull other people out with me. Just working on myself is setting an example for my little sisters, showing them that we don't have to give in to that shit. Fuck. Why am I giving in to that shit? I'm better than that. I know that I'm better than that, and I know that I'm better than that. I think the world has seen enough pain. The world has known enough pain. I don't see any point in me making that shit worse, making that shit harder. The only person I'm making it harder for is myself. Pain just begets more pain. Villainizing myself just keeps me trapped in the depths of hell. But the world is what you make of it. What am I gonna